Greetings and welcome to this warm-up session. This is oriented towards waking up the muscles that might be tight and constricted with the limited movement you might be taking on, such as myself. So we want to be able to open up the back, the thighs, and the whole girdle around the waistline. We want to do it slow and gently. So I would encourage you to use blocks if you have them. If you don't want to use them, just have your hands on the floor or on books. Be creative and innovative, and then move into this process with a way of really feeling and sensing what is going on inside your body. Use the visceral aspect of having a physical body to strengthen your ability to be sensitive, to feel, and to move in a way that's really respectful and life-affirming. The practice overall is to teach us to be able to be in any moment, any situation, under any condition, and be present enough that you can move with the situation, that you can add flow and grace so you're making the optimal choices and decisions. So here, as we practice on the mat using the poses, you want to be able to keep that sensitivity there and make the practice unique and something that really respects who you are and the shape and the condition of your body and your experience level. So let's just begin coming into hands and knees pose. And I want you to be able just to move through the joints of your shoulders, your waist, through your hips. Rock back and forward. Make sure your hands are as broad as the outer shoulders, so the center finger lines up. And you just start to move, get creative, roll like you're making circles, one direction and then the other. And then just gradually take your seat further back, just kind of swinging it out. I like to have a big curve in the back here, especially for me, I'm tight. So in this area you might be tight too, or in your hips you might feel some rigidity there. So you want to go slow and steady and add a little arch and forward extension through your arms. And then let the weight of your seat take you back. And then pulse out of that. Come forward, lean a little bit. Adjust your hands, the distance between your hands and your knees as you like. Make sure you're comfortable. And now we're going to just take the hands back a little bit. Lift up to your hands and knees. And I want you to step forward with your right leg. And I'm going to be mirroring you. So when I say right, I'm going to do left, okay? Move back and forth. And just roll. Remember, we're opening. We're not getting too deep here into philosophy or anything. We're just being sensitive so you can feel. You can get really creative with blocks here as you want. You can reach out, you can move. Now when you do this, it's important to get a sense that you're dropping the tailbone down in your front thigh here. So that's going to stretch you out, and then you can lean into that. All right, pull it back. Now we're going to have you step your left leg forward. With your left leg out, I just want you just to roll through that. And again, the blocks are only a useful tool if they serve you. So if you don't want them, don't use them. Go slow and gentle as you feel and explore and creatively stretch, letting your anatomy dictate what feels right, what feels good for you. And then we're going to gradually just pull back. Maybe even lift your toes up and stretch. And now, I'm going to face you, and I want you in your hands and knees just to gently roll and move. And step your right leg out to the edge of your mat. And if you want to put a cushion, a blanket, anything underneath your down knee, make yourself comfortable. And again, here we're just going to roll forward and back. Forward and back. Reach out long out through your left arm take your right hand out to your leg or out to a block. And when you're here, you can just stretch down. Explore the stretch. And be creative, flow. And I even love to just kind of like bend my knee here. If you can see, pick the heel up. And then just gradually take yourself back to more neutral spine. Pull your leg in and take a moment to move, stretch, wag your ankles if that feels good for you. There you go. Now step out through your left leg. Have a block handy if you think it would be useful. And then you pull in. We want to hug this muscular energy onto the inner light. This is how we do that inside out kind of balance. It's a delightful way of just being centered in your physical form so you can start to feel, expand. Explore now. Just reach out. Gradually take it more into the center. Pull your leg in and just take some time. Moving creatively, stop, have a sip of water, whatever works for you. And then you gradually lift up. Take a moment to reach out with your right leg. Just settle into it. In any warming up and grounding practice is that connection to the earth that really gives you that sense of stability. You're pulling up into yourself so you press back down. It's this reciprocal pulsation. And as you want, just gradually lean a little deeper into the stretch. So you start to root down and lift your heart and lean back. So I'm getting a really big pull up from my down knee all the way through my hip. And especially as I twist this opens up around the sacrum area and feels really delightful for my kind of old and worn back. That spine area is all compressed in, opens and expands. And then you can lift your heart. So all of this opening to grace and creating steadiness and refinement takes to a place of expansion and delight. And then pull back slow and steady again, taking your time to move, roll, and just play with opening up in your legs. And switch sides. Begin to move, open. Be free to explore even the differences from side to side. And then ground down. Take your time, especially in the opening of a workout or a yoga class. I want you to be sensitive enough to give yourself that gift of feeling and not over pacing. These muscles can be really tight, really restricted. And I want you just to take the time to gently encourage them to open. And when you do, the grace is not lost. The experience remains delightful. Oh, yeah. Release that down. Start to move. And then draw back. Take some time here just to come into a prayer pose or child pose. Let the opening just settle out.
You want to be able to drop the tailbone down. So if your knees or hips are not as open as I am here, feel fine to be like this and just pushing back. But I want the tailbone to drop with a little lift of your belly, a little lift of your chest. And rock forward. Before we come to a downward dog, you want to get the sense of being really integrated in a nice wide base in your hands, a sense of the thighs drawing back, the sit bones widening back. And then especially when you lift, you want to be able to keep the tailbone scooped. So you lift slow and steady. You can come forward to plank, to lengthen forward through your head and out through your heels. And you can even do this from your knees, rocking back and forward. I want you to be able to find your unique position. And you just lift, bend the knees deeply so you come to downward dog. And then you can gradually stretch your heels deeper and deeper down. Keep that bend in your knees if you know that those hamstrings are a little too tight to stretch all the way down. Come forward to plank or lower your knees. And then just pull back and settle down for a moment. Keep in your child pose. Feel your breath. Feel how this opening warm-up sequence has really added vibrancy, gotten you ready for any class now that you want to take on, whether it be gentle or more vibrant and more active.